Thanks for tuning in, guys, subscribers, Transformers fans. This is one I recorded a little while back and I've been editing the hell out of for quite a while now. So I'll get to the point, then I'll just quickly flick over. The main thing I want to say is this is a bit of a history on Megatron. We're starting with that beautiful Uncle, which I auctioned off a little while ago. And we go all the way through to the Encore version, and you'll see. Watch on. The reason I'm just quickly doing this intro is just to say, once we're all done, at the end I'm just doing a bit of a glossary. So a bit of a reference sheet of all the COOs, of the stock, the actual gun itself, Megatron itself, all the different bits and pieces, all the identifiable marks for the different Megatrons through the ages, go Uncle through to Encore. So that's after the interview, after the lesson from, I won't spoil who's coming on, but that's coming up in a minute. So make sure you keep watching till the end, and anytime you want, reference back to this vid. It's got every single stamp you can imagine from Uncle pre-rub, rub, Encore, and we talk about identifying some KOs and stuff. So keep watching, guys, and thank you, guys. This should be a fun one. Thanks for tuning in, guys, subscribers, Transformers fans. So I've got a bit of a cool one today. I recently met the man to my right here, Chris Rice. We call him Ricey. My mate Dan the Man Simo introduced us. He's done a few vids with me before. Selling his Uncle Megatron or pre-Megatron toy, and we've got a couple of Megatrons on hand now. So I thought we might go for a bit of a history lesson with Megatron. So I'm loving this too. I'm learning. I'm far from my hat with this stuff, but we've got a bit of a guru here in Western Australia. So over to you, Chris. Talk to us, mate.
Never admit to that, Harry. Didn't know or everything to do with Megatron, mate. There's so many different cool things about it. But yeah, I guess I collected a Megatron for many years. It was one of my faves. So yeah, I got right into him, obviously, and I wanted all the different sort of variants in a way. And yeah, obviously having an original where he sort of really birthed from was a big, very good centerpiece for myself, so yeah. But yeah, I guess we can go through the Uncle and go through what it really is and the different versions of Megatrons. And I think Eric wanted me to sort of discuss also how to look for fakes or differences in the Megatrons, so you can actually tell. Obviously there's a few, one that's recently come on the market, but yeah, we can go through that. But yeah, obviously with the Uncle, obviously it comes from the series Microman, which was in 1974, I think.
The Uncle.
Yeah, and then basically from there, with the Microman series in Takara, they obviously started Diaclone as well. But Microman were little cyborg beings on Earth, and yeah, then that series grew, and one of the very first, I guess, transforming robots they did was called Robot Man, which was a Microman thing, and then obviously Diaclone spawned. And yeah, obviously part of the series later on, when obviously they're looking at changing things, the story goes that Microman designed, cameras and microscopes and guns and stuff to help the children fight the evil aliens that were invading Earth, So funny enough, one of the little facts there is when this guy was actually done, he's actually a good guy. Where all the bad guys started as good guys originally, So the idea was, that Microman created guns to give to the children to help the children fight the aliens with them. That was the story.
Different world back then.
Yeah. So obviously in the a series released in '83 called Micro Change, and that's where Microman morphed into Micro Change. And then funny enough, the Microman series changed into the Western world called Micronauts, and that helped spawn the actual little G.I. Joe figures later on. It was all come from that. So yeah, with Hasbro's integration. So yeah, with the Micro Change, there's a few different guns that Micro Change did release in the series in '83. There was a Browning, a Magnum, and a P-38, and then you got the P-38 Uncle. So some people say the P-38 original one is the first Megatron. It's debatable in the toy world. For me, this is Megatron. The P-38 that came out, which is the MC-12, they came out in the same year, but doesn't have all the same intricates as the MC-13, and that's what makes MC-13, Megatron. So to do real quickly, the MC-12 when it came out was completely black. It had no chrome, it was black, and it had a brown handle. And it doesn't have the stock piece on the back, if you have a look on here, I guess, this stock piece doesn't exist, and the arm cannon doesn't exist on the MC-12. So the MC-12 came with the sword, but it came with blue bullets, and the inside of his legs, where the picture here, is actually blue plastic, not red. And that's how you tell the MC-12.
I'll see if I can find a still of them and chuck them up in the video so you guys know what we're talking about. But.
And then obviously MC-13, which is spawned from what they say was a show called The Man of U.N.C.L.E, and he had a P-38 which he modified and put the stock and everything on it, and that's how this toy came about, as a replica of that from that show. So yeah, so a little, I guess we can open him up. I think Eric's already done a bit of a video on him, but I guess to go through the box, I think Eric's, like I said, it's designed to look like a suitcase. So you're a spy to help fight the evil aliens, and you bring your gun out, and obviously you see the original Megatron artwork there. And obviously the back of the box shows how Microman interchanges with him when he transforms into his things. So very unique piece in Australia, in Transformer history, and to find one in Australia, I think, is just impossible. So it opens up like a suitcase. You got a little code thing here and everything like that. But I guess I know in Eric's last videos we didn't find the bullet spurs, but they were in the back of the box. We've put them in now. So that's how he's laid out, as part of how a gun would lay for a spy, where you could pull your pieces out and join it up and make him into the Megatron as we know. So yeah, it comes with obviously the perspex that protects him. Eric's sort of gone through a little bit with it. Obviously has the targets that you shoot down with the 3 targets. It comes with the 20 bullets that Megatron can fire. Obviously the spurs on the tree. The sword, the beautiful sword that is very sought after. Obviously, this guy came out in '83. So in Japan only, there was a release in Italy, I believe, that they did. So this version of Megatron was only released for 1 year in Japan and Italy. That's it.
Japan only in Italy. Yeah.
So the numbers on this guy would be very low, and in finding one complete would be super rare. It was funny. I had to refresh myself, because I bought this guy back late 90s, probably early 2000s. A mate of mine actually picked it up for me when he was working in Japan. It's a very unique piece in that thing. And doing a bit of research again to try to get myself back up to speed on it, I actually found one on Worth Point, right? But if you have a look, the one on Worth Point is actually fake.
Oh, really?
And they sold it as a genuine U.N.C.L.E, and
yes.
I can show you the differences later.
What price do they get? Yeah.
I don't know. You got to sign up.
You have to sign up for Worth Point.
Yeah. So yeah, look, the sword is very unique. You only get it in this one. I think the Encore one, at least later in Japan, has a different sword. There's little subtle differences. If we can go through, I guess, the catalog, a bit of history. So the catalogs are really awesome. Obviously it goes through the Megatron MC-13 instructions. It goes through what was included in the kit. Obviously it does come with a very small sticker sheet that's not shown here. Maybe Eric can put a bit of steel on it as well with a sticker sheet there. But the instructions, are complete. The catalogue, like you said, I think you said these things are awesome to look through.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can, maybe if you want to do this one, you can actually find, the original, cassette man with all these different cassettes. They weren't even released into Transformers line, which is kind of cool. And obviously the different guns that were released with the Browning and the Magnum.
Oh, so that's just got the MC-12 in it, doesn't it?
It's MC-7, this is MC-11, which is the Magnum. And it has the MC-12 down here.
Cool.
And obviously the MC-13, which is like the flagship of the gun range. It's funny because the MC-12 shown here is in chrome, but if you actually look, I think maybe there's an oddball one out there that it did come chrome, but that's later. The original one was all black with a brown handle.
Yeah.
So, and they did re-release him later on as a Encore type series.
Yeah.
Obviously it has the camera, which we all know is reflector. He was designing the stories that the kids could use to take photos, because the aliens would live in this subspace, so the camera would expose them and know where they were, so they could find them. That was
Fine,
the idea
fine.
about
Yeah,
it,
that's
you
cool.
know. Yeah, and obviously the watches and all the mini bots that go into Transformers. And this, again, the story of them were they actually were robots but designed to look like toy cars. So yeah, so the catalogue is, you know, again, a nice piece of history.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, the accessories, most of them are, you know, the Megatron that we know with the arm cannon. There is really no differences that I've noticed between the U.N.C.L.E and the Megatron arm cannon. With the stock and everything, there is some subtle differences. Obviously, this one's got the stickers applied, which is mainly where the stickers come from the sticker sheet, are only on the stock and on the inside of his legs. That's it. It does have a firing mechanism that you put a bullet in and it fires. The stamping is always unique to the U.N.C.L.E on the stock. It only has Takara. That's it. There's no dates. There's nothing. So that's how to also tell if you've got a genuine U.N.C.L.E version compared to later releases. It literally just says Takara. That's it. The silencer, there's no differences with the release that was with Megatron.
Okay.
Put that one back carefully, so because the styrofoam is pretty sweet. Okay, his little arm gun that everyone sort of doesn't really know, you know, in Megatron what it was for. It's unique again to the U.N.C.L.E. It's not the same as the release in the Transformers. There's a little knob piece here that in the Transformers line clips into Megatron's hand, where this one's designed to go over his hand.
Oh, okay.
So we'll show you that later on when we get the Megatron. So that's how you also tell if someone's put the wrong gun in with the U.N.C.L.E.
Yep.
And if you look on the Worth Point one, it's got the wrong gun and the wrong sword, and
So
it's
it's
the
all
wrong Megatron.
mismatched,
Yeah. So yeah, and the sword, obviously, you know, they're the bullet spurs. The sword is again unique to the U.N.C.L.E because it has the sharper tip, where, you know, later on they round it down, which we can compare soon. That's the sword. Now, yeah, with the U.N.C.L.E, well, with Megatron, as we know, MC13. Yeah, look, this guy's pretty mint. It's very hard for me to even let it go, because you just never gonna see it, you know.
Yeah.
But the difference is with this one, with the Megatron, which Hasbro took over in '84, with the plastics are different. This is a gold plastic. It has nice swells through it. The Megatron's more of a grey plastic. The chrome is a darker gold tinge to it compared to a Megatron. You'll find the real early release Megatrons that came out as Megatron Transformers have the gold tinge, but they're very rare because obviously the chroming process must have changed or something like that, you know. So, yeah, and obviously to tell an U.N.C.L.E, it has, and a Megatron as well, it has the MC12 13 stamped in his gun. Maybe we'll put a few stills up about
definitely.
that. So obviously the MC12, you know, stands for microchange 12 and microchange 13. That's where it comes from, and that's how to tell if it's a genuine Megatron. We'll go through a bit of the things later on. The U.N.C.L.E is only stamped made in Japan, Takara. That's it. Again, maybe we'll do later on. We'll do a few stamping things, and we can show that compare them all. So that's a unique thing for the U.N.C.L.E. For the microchange. Again, early Megatrons may have this, but again, they're rare because the date was eventually added pretty quickly. So I'll have, you know, made in Japan Takara, but it'll have a date, you know, and then the later releases, which we'll go through, have Hasbro. Yeah, so look, this guy, I had him in late 90s, early 2000s, and I'd never transformed him. I pulled him apart a little bit to check that he was complete, not broken. And he's been sitting in this box since probably 2002 when I went away with work. And only recently came out Christmas this year. So yeah, and obviously I was good friends with Simo and introduced me to Eric, and we thought it would be kind of cool to do this sort of video and yeah, look at selling it. But little things with the U.N.C.L.E, obviously always doing with Megatrons. There's two little tabs here that always seem to be broken. This guy's intact again. You know, the original stickers or inside of his legs. Maybe we can do a few stills later on, but you can see the stickers. You can actually see the red colour in his legs are darker than the Hasbro release as well. So if you see, like, the red is a lot darker, which we can compare later.
I can see how tight that hinge is as you're moving it. Like it's
that's
been
what I mean.
transformed
So
many times.
I don't even really like.
It's so tight. That's like a brand new.
Doing this, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I sort of do it very carefully just to make sure he's complete. I normally just pull his head down, and and his head you can actually see, and they actually have yellow eyes, I think, which is part of the artwork. But the Megatron's eyes are slightly darker in the Hasbro release. Again, I normally just pull his arms down, but you can see, the nice red color on the inside of his arms is different to the Hasbro release, which makes him very unique. I normally don't really try to twist the barrel too much because obviously, it's delicate.
You're much braver than me.
But yeah, look, he's 100% working. It's nice and tight in his arms, clip into his barrel nicely, which, if everyone plays with Megatrons a lot, that's the first thing goes. He gets very loose. So yeah, that's pretty much the most I've ever done with him transforming, because I just, I feel, it feels like I'm not meant to do it, if you know what I mean. So
I had the exact same feeling when I'm not allowed to touch with no gloves today, but when I held him the other day, I just didn't feel like you're allowed to do. You're supposed to do this. Like, it just feels like a museum piece that you're not meant to play with, or something. Like, it's just too old and too mint. So
like, you tell, and obviously the more you do his legs, they do become loose, but all these tabs are intact. They're not broken. It goes together and clips together very nicely.
Yeah,
it's an awesome piece. You know what I mean? And I don't even really like firing it. Again, because the plastic is it's old. But just the swells through all the gold and stuff. You know what I mean? It just looks awesome. I really like.
It's hard to put down, and it's hard to stop looking at. Like, that gold.
Yeah.
Catches your eye when it catches the light. It's incredible. It's a marbly sort of finish to it. It's incredible, really. And especially near the tip of the...
Near the tip wheel of swells, and just the colour of it. So that's what makes the U.N.C.L.E very unique, is the colouring of it. It's not like a normal Megatron. Like I said, it was only released for pretty much that 1 year in Japan and Italy. So to find one, probably this complete is probably, I think it's near on impossible in Australia. And again, you've got to be very careful if you're looking at buying one to make sure they are legit, because there's so many different things that you got to look for, which I guess we can go through a little bit. So that's really a bit more history on where he come from, and obviously from the 83 when Hasbro teamed up with Takara. This is the guy that was chosen to become the mighty Megatron that we all love.
It's crazy, and he's still going on now, 2025, and he's bigger than ever, isn't he? Like,
yep, he's one of all-time favourites, and if you ever call a centerpiece, this would be the piece,
100%.
basically. So yeah, leading into Megatrons, we can do a few little differences. I've got a couple of different versions here. So we'll go to like a pre-rub and a rub version. So if people aren't familiar when Transformer people talk about pre-rub and not, is basically the original series of Transformers in 84 when it came out. They didn't have rub signs because it just wasn't really required. As some sort of knockoffs started appearing, or copies as they call it, to protect the brand, they introduced the rub sign. And then the rub sign will put on the later release Transformers, and then just become known as the rub sign or pre-rub. So again, finding an U.N.C.L.E is really rare. Obviously, when Megatron was in Transformers, it went worldwide, so the numbers are a lot greater. But then finding a pre-rub Megatron is actually rare in the world of Transformers. And then you've obviously got the rub sign Megatron. So again, there's a few differences between them. So some people claim to be, a pre-rub because it's worth more, but they're not. So there's a few things to look out for. I guess we can go through, like, with this one being a pretty nice example of a pre-rub. Most Megatrons, the foams are always broken here because they changed the foam design for whatever reason. So everyone just rips the gun out and breaks the foam. This one comes with the unused sticker sheet. Yeah, he's immaculate as well. Really, it's a really nice piece being a pre-rub Megatron. But I guess going through some little subtle changes again, if we compare to the original things, the scopes, silencers are the same. With the stock, again, this one being a very early pre-rub, it just has the Takara, which matches the original U.N.C.L.E version of the stock. I'll show you the later ones. And I think I actually got another stock here so some of them change. They have Takara just only, and then they'll have Takara Japan with a date, and then the later ones will have Hasbro Takara. So that's how you tell the differences.
So these two stock bases are identical?
Identical, apart from stickers, and this one doesn't have the firing mechanism, which was removed by Hasbro. Where this one has the firing mechanism. This one doesn't fire bullets.
But the base piece isn't firing, is it?
No.
This got nothing to do with the firing mechanism.
That's right.
Base piece,
That's right. That's your firing piece there. And the base piece. So reality is this piece is identical to that. You know. But yeah, so that's just a bit of stamping. So everyone, you're looking for stamps, your pre-rub should have just Takara or just have Takara Japan and a date. That's it. If it has Hasbro, it's not a pre-rub, because the Hasbro one came out when all the rub signs came out and stuff. So that's one thing with the stock. We talked a little bit about his little gun, and as you can see, it has this little knob part on the side compared to the U.N.C.L.E one. You can see there, if you can see the differences. For whatever reason, Hasbro decided to put that on there for Megatron to hold it easier. I don't know why, but they did. So someone out there might know a bit more than myself about that and know why it was really added. But yeah, that's the difference. So again, that's how to tell the difference between a Megatron gun and a microchange gun.
And whilst Chris knows what he's talking about, if someone does something he's missed or whatever, please chuck it in. We'd love to know more info. The more we know, the better. Like,
yeah, that's the good
no
part
one knows
about
everything. Like, and we're all open to information.
I've got to be very careful getting this guy out without having to break. I don't want to break the phone. He's stuck in there really good because I don't think he really lives
Those
out.
gloves don't give you like grip.
No, the gloves aren't very grippy, but I might have to take one off. So I just grip the plastic a bit.
There you go. That's really nice foam, eh? Like,
yeah, it's tight as. So be careful where. The reason we wear gloves with Megatron is the chrome. If you put a fingerprint on it and you don't wipe it off, I've noticed in my old Megatrons, it actually leaves a fingerprint. And you can't clean it. So I got very pedantic with these Megatrons that are based, again, this guy I bought, late 90s, early 2000s again. And, he's just never been out of the box. So I try not to touch them very often. Again, the same thing. I'll just hold the plastic part. It has MC1213, which indicates microchange again. It's the microchange mold. Again, that's a very big telltale between knockoffs. And we'll go through that a little bit in a second. This one being a pre-rub, has made in Japan Takara, but it has the date 1974, 1983. And that's the difference that Hasbro added the dates on for the American market, is what I believe. So, again, if someone knows the real reason, but I believe that's why they added the dates in to determine, that the toy was dated. So then that's the difference. You can get Megatron's early pre-rubs that just have the same as the microchange one, just made in Japan, but again, they're very rare. Hasbro added stickers to Megatron. Obviously, this sticker is factory applied. If you find a Megatron that doesn't have this sticker applied, it's not a genuine Hasbro, because that one always has the sticker applied from factory. The microchange doesn't, but again, you can tell the chrome difference. I guess we'll just sit him there for a second while I put the glove back on. And you can start seeing the real differences in the colouring, between the two. It might be hard for a camera, but
we'll get some stills up.
Yeah, you can see the chrome difference where this one's very gold dark chrome, where the Hasbro one is a more of a shiny chrome, and as the later releases in Megatron, they actually get more shiny again. So The pre-rubs, you can actually see a nice some people call like a rainbow effect in the chrome. I don't know if you can see that. Has a sort of nice colouring from the chrome as it's aged. So again, it's another bit of a telltale. The stamping there, but the plastics are even slightly different. One's a bit goldy. Megatron is the grayer colour. Yeah, so we put him back in there without being gentle with him.
Well, it's so shiny and spectacular. It's bloody ridiculous.
So we pull this guy down again. He's got the tabs, which are normally, it's a telltale to look for when you're looking for a Megatron. You see the red in here is still a dark red, but not as dark as the microchange version. So that's a bit of a giveaway. Again, you know, you see how tight this guy is. You know, I don't really transform him that, well, I don't think I ever really have. You know, with his arms. This one does have a little scratch on the barrel here. Megatrons are very renowned for that. So when people transform them with the arms, they scratch the barrel. So it's a common thing, but unfortunately he does have that scratch, which does say he's been transformed once. A lot of people I see marketing Megatron, you know, never transformed him, this and that, you know, and
you see scratches.
You see a scratch. Well, that's been true. But a telltale for me is this little indicator in here. There's a little like joint. And if it's nice and chrome, it probably hasn't been transformed. Like this one, again, might be able to put a steel on it. See, there's no chrome missing.
Yep.
And I'll show you in a later one, the chrome's always missing there because that's how it flips open. And for whatever reason, when you flip it open, it just chips the chrome off.
Kind of scrapes it.
Yeah, scrapes it. So some people go, I've never transformed it. And I look at that in the picture and go, well, you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just another telltale. The cleaner that is, then you know the less it hasn't been played with or even transformed. So yeah, got to clip that back in to make sure everything's nice and safe. So yeah, that's a pre-rub Megatron. To go through a few differences just so you can identify it. Again, if anyone has any questions and stuff like that, obviously, yeah, flick it to Eric on his channel. Put that back in nicely.
That's also got
there.
like a beautiful kind of marbly finish to it too, doesn't it? The pre-rub, that plastic.
Yeah, it does.
Lovely.
And I find, because obviously there was a mold, like things going on, a lot of sometimes the parts are swapped over into the pre-rubs, you know. Yep. As they get into the rub signs, they're you can actually tell they're nearly completely different. Obviously the Megatron comes with the paperwork with his instructions, has the little white bit of paper how to show him put him together, and unused sticker sheet. So that's like a pre-rub version. Maybe we'll slide him back in.
So much Megatron mintiness in front of me, it's ridiculous. And I'm not a big one of throwing the word mint around, like it's not a word I throw around a lot as a seller. I'm really, you know, stick with condition, and these are ridiculous condition, these guys.
Yeah, and this guy's still taped on one end as well, so it makes it pretty unique. Yeah, I'm the same area, like, because everyone's interpretation is different.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So this is a pre-rub Megatron. And I think with Megatrons, what I found, because I was collecting a lot of Megatrons and I was chasing the perfect Megatron with chrome. I don't think it exists, because I think, honestly, the chrome is so susceptible of being scratched or just, you know, imperfections in it because it's a toy. It's like a never-ending hunt, you know what I mean? Like, I did see one that was sealed and getting back into it, go to an auction recently. I think it sold for 40,000 US.
Yeah, that's insane, yeah.
And even looking carefully at those pictures, you can see that some chrome imperfections on his chest, and he's apparently never been opened.
Was that graded, or was that just ungraded?
It was graded.
Oh,
yeah, it was graded.
yeah.
But that's, you know, ridiculous, you know, price, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what a sealed Megatron goes for, because again, finding a sealed Megatron is impossible, you know. So, well, obviously they're out there, but you can be paying a lot for them, you know.
Yeah.
So with Megatron, with his value, guys, when you're looking for a Megatron, if the price is too cheap, it's normally too good to be true. It normally is, right? Because Megatron is such a piece to get, where it wears so quickly. He's very fragile. Not many probably survive. I'm surprised a lot of these did survive childhood. So, you know, I guess the condition is everything when it comes to Megatron with pricing. Some people go, oh, but that, you know, $2-3 grand, that's really expensive. I can get one $500. Well, the $500 one's going to be trashed. You know what I mean? So, you know, it all depends on what sort of level you want. But yeah, so this is the rub sign version, which the rub sign goes here. In the Encore series, it's normally put on his arm cannon thing, so that's something to sometimes tell. Sometimes the rub sign is put on his grip there as well. But but just something to look out for is the placement. Again, it has MC1213, pretty, well in the mould. You can sort of start seeing the plastics are starting to change a little bit in colour now. It's a bit more grayer. With the stamping on this one being a rub sign, it has Hasbro as well imprinted here, with Hasbro with a date, and made in Japan Takara with a date. So again, a genuine Megatron, just a rub sign version. But again, if we take some stills and we can
definitely
show the people
some
up front. And there's something to really look for, because I'll go through with the knockoffs on how they've got it wrong. You can see this one's been transformed a little bit, because you can see again where I was talking about the chrome wear. This one's got wear, so you can tell he's been transformed. If you see that, see how it's a lot more worn away. And he's obviously had stickers applied to this guy. I think this guy comes with his used sticker sheet, but yeah, he's 100% complete again. Just had his stickers applied, and he's a pre-rub, and probably transformed a little bit more than the other ones, but it's still nice and shiny arms. It's for a Megatron, it's still
it's a nice Megatron.
Nice.
These other guys are like a different level.
Yeah, different level.
But yeah, it's really nice.
Like, see, even his legs are super tight. The tabs are surviving. Again, those tabs always break off, guys. So it's something to look for when you're looking for a Megatron.
Still quite tight, isn't it? Considering
super tight. He's got his stickers on. You got the nice sort of red legs again. You can do, a Megatron that has been transformed a lot will just be floppy, you know what I mean? So, this guy, again, you got his face, his arms.
Pre-rub and post-up, same sticker sheet, aren't they?
Same sticker sheet, yeah. What I have noticed a little bit with some of the Megatrons, the early ones, the Decepticon symbol is like a different coloured purple.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a weirder, it's like a lighter colour. I don't know if this is due to age or not, you know what I mean? But it's something to look forward to. Look for, if your Decepticon symbol is way too good on his chest, it's a repo. Because they just fade. It's just the thing, But yeah, I don't know if you want to fully transform him. Like this guy, again, is pretty nice. Yeah, maybe we'll do it with the Encore one.
Transform my Encore, I think. I feel a bit safer.
Yeah, this one, again, very nice. And the more you transform Megatron, everything gets loose, you know what I mean? Like his head doesn't stay up like that. So even his head is, super tight.
Yeah.
Everything, you can just tell he's, been looked after.
In bot mode, you'll never get his legs to stay all the way out. Well, they're just always one of them.
Nah, that's right. They'll always like fall down. You know what I mean? He's probably not sitting right, but I could probably put his feet out. He might stand up like that. And that just his legs are so tight. Like most of them just won't even stand. So. But I guess little differences. Yeah, it's really the stamping when it comes to the rub sign. That's pretty much it, and a rub sign. Other than that, he's identical to the pre-rub.
Yeah.
But the plastic is changing a little bit. You can see the chrome's probably a little bit more shiny. It doesn't have the gold tinge to it, which makes it different, But again, a very nice piece, Megatron, I think, was to me one of the just a cool toy, just a cool weapon.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? And when you put him all together with all these stuff, you know what I mean? Like, maybe we'll do it with this guy. He just looks completely menacing. But everything's so tight on him.
That probably wouldn't have been assembled a whole lot of times.
No, I want to be careful with it all.
It is such a savage piece when you put it together.
And that's one thing we did. So with the stock, with the rub sign version, this one has Takara, Japan and Hasbro 1974, 1983. So that's the difference with the stock. You know what I mean? And you can see the stamping's different.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a bit of that as well. But yeah, I feel even bad doing this now. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he's really been. How tired he really is.
I'm not even doing it, I can tell.
But Megatron as a weapon, like that is cool.
Insane.
And the thing is, like you said, nothing will ever be released like this guy ever again, so very cool piece, very unique. Love him. That's why I got too many of him. But But again, like Harry said, if there's anyone got any questions or anything that we might have missed or something, let us know. But I guess we'll get the Encore one out now. I can't even get this piece
This is
off.
the poor man's version. This is my one.
Poor man's version. It's still a Takara. It's still,
I
it's still a good Megatron. I'm going to be very careful getting this piece off. I don't want to break his arm.
This is my pay grade here, alright? So I'll let Chris talk about him, transform him still. But yeah, look, I love him. I love all Megatrons, but he's still worth a few bucks, but...
Well, to me, I find like him, he's still a genuine Megatron. He's released by Takara.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely Encore series is awesome. They also did Megatron in the collective series in the boxes. I think he's number 6, I think.
Yep.
In that series, and those are cool. Like that one came with, I don't know if that one does. I don't know much about the Encore one. I've never actually owned one. They sort of came out after I sort of finished collecting. His purple, you know, big ball that he has when he fights Optimus on the bridge. Yeah. You know, that's a kind of cool piece.
So I've got a Megatron, you don't, mate.
I know.
What's with that, mate? Like, geez.
Alright, we'll just box that guy back up to move him on the side there like that.
There you go, mate.
And yeah, so now we have the Encore series. And again, to me, like some people, like, you know, will look, like, I guess now as a reissue, but I still love these guys, you know what I mean? It's still a genuine Takara Megatron, you know, there's nothing definitely wrong with it. It all depends on where you want to collect and if you want all the different versions. So the only one a real version we don't. So to go back, I think this guy's released early 2000s. Again, comes with all the bullet spurs, has a nice sword. Like I said, the collector series that Hasbro brought out with Takara has his little you know, spike ball that's purple. That's like kind of cool. I think that one also shoots bullets. So there is another one in between, sort of when Megatron was released for Transformers in 84 and 85. That was it for 2 years, and then they stopped him for whatever reason. Again, yep. Someone might know the real reason. Obviously, something to do with toy guns and stuff like this. So Megatron himself is a Transformer. Was only released for those 2 years. All right. So again, that's why original Megatron is a very rare piece. Because again, the limited, obviously worldwide now, completely different to the micro change, which that one is just ridiculously, stupidly rare. There was one in between where Takara released in Japan. It was never released in the American market, called Goodbye Megatron, which had Starscream and Megatron in there. And that Megatron is pretty much the mold they used for these guys. Because the Goodbye Megatron, if everyone knows Megatrons, I mean, if you're looking, his arms always broke. Right, his arms on the hinges here. We can use the micro change one. It's right here.
That one's arms.
No, I'm not going to transform him. On here, on this part here, there, and here are very weak all the time, and they always crack. So everyone's looking for arms, and because you're putting his arm cannon on and off, you're putting a lot of stress on the one screw that's here. So what they did in the later release in the Goodbye Megatron, they didn't have chrome. He was just plastic, or grey plastic. It was not chromed. But the Goodbye Megatron has these reinforced pins on his arms here and here. So that's a bit of a telltale sign between, and Goodbye Megatron was released in 86, I believe. So there's a bit of a telltale sign between a reissue or a genuine G1 early 80s release is the pins on his arms are just a dead giveaway.
Yep.
The Goodbye Megatron doesn't have this bit molded onto the handle. He only has his arm cannon. So he was a mixture of MC12 and MC13. So MC12 doesn't have this on it either.
Okay.
So this mold at the back of the thing for his stock was only for MC13. MC12 does not have this. It's just a brown grip, and it doesn't have the attachment here. And the Goodbye Megatron, if you're looking for again a genuine one, because a lot of people try to, Goodbye Megatron is a rare, and they're worth a lot of money. So a lot of people try to fake it, and you'll look for this. They don't have this, but they don't have that attachment there, and it's all grey in plastic. Okay, it doesn't have chrome. So with the Encore series and the collection series that Hasbro did, they obviously released the chrome version. I think there is another black version they did of Megatron they released at one point to do MC12. But again, you can see the, on the Encore, and I'm pretty sure the collection series doesn't have MC1213 stamped here. It's blank. So it's another telltale, right? If someone's Frankensteined one of these to repair an old Megatron, is this piece here is wrong. This one has made in China Takara on it. It doesn't have a date, but it's made in China, so it's another giveaway. With the collection series, I'm not actually sure. I think it might have Hasbro stamped here as well. Again, that's a question for other people. I don't have it here. So a dead giveaway is the pins in his arms, so you can tell if it's a reissue or not. And the Goodbye Megatron did have them, but again, it's grey and plastic. The stamping is different. But as you can see with the Encore, a very nice piece. This one is pretty good actually. It's very nice in chrome. I don't think he's ever been transformed. Again, the chrome's surviving in his little hinge part. But you can see the plastic is just a different sort of quality now. It's probably better than what that is, like quality-wise, but it doesn't have the nice swirling sort of action through it. This guy's, fairly tight. He's got his tabs still there that aren't broken. Yes, he hasn't been transformed much at all.
Yeah, he's very tight.
That's one thing I have also noticed with this Encore. They seem to, it's like a little, see how like a hinged mechanism that clicks, where the original ones don't have that.
It just went all the way,
Yeah, it's more free flowing. So it's something, so they must have changed something inside.
Yeah.
The legs are still the nice red. With MC12, again, is blue. The Goodbye Megatrons are red.
Okay.
Some people always think they're blue, but they're not. They're red. Original one.
So Chris, this Goodbye Megatron doesn't have a stock? Like it doesn't have the clip for it?
No, it doesn't have a stock. It has his
Just a
arm
scope.
cannon. That's it. Yeah. But that's what makes it different. So you can tell, because again, the Goodbye Megatron's only released in Japan for 1 year, so he's actually quite
And he said it was a 2-pack.
2-pack with Starscream.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. I don't have one. Someone's got one for sale.
I don't know anything of it. I'm going to look it up. Is Starscream different? The Starscream camera?
I believe so. The colouring in the plastic slightly different.
Cool.
To tell the difference. Again, it's got the rub sign on his arm cannon thing now. Again, one thing too with MC12, it doesn't have the arm cannon, it doesn't have this piece, but it has the hole there, but I don't think it's threaded for a screw. So it's another thing to sort of determine the differences. So that's a good little differences with the thing. Well, I guess we'll do the accessory real quick. We will come back to the figures with knockoffs, because the Encore is very good as a comparison. I'll get this sword out.
This is one of the other reasons I love the Encore so much, is the sword that it's come from Uncle.
Alright, you might be able to get that out. Aaron, I can't even get out with the gloves.
It's
probably never been out, mate.
I think it has. It just clicks in so well into that plastic that it's ridiculous. How did I get it out in the first place? There you go.
There you go. So you can see with the Encore sword, it's still a very nice sword, but when you do compare it to the micro change version, the tip is rounded. It obviously way more shinier. Other than that, I think pretty much it looks like all the plastic injection molding's the same. So it's probably done from the same mold. They've literally just rounded the top. And obviously you can see the chrome difference.
I reckon those lines are thicker too. On the...
Yeah, they look a bit more dark, deeper than the micro change one. So that's what I agree. I think the sword is just a
kappa.
Cool piece.
It's a kappa for me on that one. Yeah, I love it.
And again, something unique that for whatever reason Hasbro didn't put into the Transformer world. Again, the stock, I think everything's just. Oh yeah, this one does have the firing mechanism. In it. As per the original micro change, but you'll see on the stock now it will be stamped Takara Hasbro, which is what it should be, but it's got made in China, not Japan. So that's one way to say if someone swapped the accessories around with you. And again, you can't even put that in the original Megatron because it's got the firing mechanism. You know what I mean? It doesn't match, So, so the stock is...
I wonder how that varies from the Uncle, the firing stock.
Well, we can have a quick look. It's probably, I'd say, nearly identical. Because I'd say it's all the same original moulding.
Did that even come out before? I don't know if that has.
Probably shouldn't have even. I haven't honestly ever compared these up close to each other. maybe some subtle.
Hard to tell with the stickers, I guess.
Yeah. It looks pretty damn close.
Same colour screws as well on that top bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check, that's the same coloured screws. That's one thing we'll show a little bit in a sec as well.
Mm.
Yeah, look, the plastic's maybe a bit different, but yeah, look, it's pretty good. I'd say it's the exact same, come from the same mould.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really tell the difference there.
That's cool.
Which is kind of cool because that, you know, it brings back the genuine where it originally came from, you know. So the Encore series does bring that element to it where it can fire pellets, which is really, really awesome. Because again, it's a unique thing, and I guess if you've never fired a Megatron how he was really meant to be built, you know what I mean? It's a privilege to probably get one and fire a bullet. It's just something that's cool. Yeah, and I think the silencer is all the same. The stickers are all the same. And obviously the bullets. So yeah, obviously I think the gun itself is different as well. Yeah, it does. It has that sort of that knob part on the gun as well. So again, that determines an Encore compared to original micro change. Yeah, so yeah, and I think from there, this one hasn't got all these stickers on. When it comes to Megatron with the Encore series, and I know the collection series, like this is the first time I've really played with the transformed an Encore one. I've done the collection one because I actually have one of them myself. I had a couple of them. I've always noticed the arms never go together nice. See how it's always got that, and no matter what you do,
you can't get the line up.
You just can't get them to line up properly. And I don't know why. I think it's got something to do with the pins because they changed the pins, and obviously they've tried to make it fit, and it's just the tolerance is slightly out. But you'll find with all the reissues, it just doesn't seem to match up nicely.
Interesting.
You find to tell if someone, I guess the biggest day and age now when we're buying Megatron, for me, if I'm going to buy a Megatron and spend a lot of money on it, because a good Megatron is expensive, you want it to be genuine.
Oh, definitely.
That's the whole point. So you don't want someone taking one of these and taking parts of this to put onto an old Megatron to make him look good. You know, that's... I believe sometimes when I find a Megatron, one of these ones, I like keeping them together because the battle scars and everything they've got on that tells the story of it, you know? And Megatron, I think it was so sought after because you couldn't replicate it like all the other Transformers so easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, but again, the telltale is the pins. You know, a genuine Megatron doesn't have the pins. Well, again, I shouldn't say that. Original 80s. This is a genuine Megatron from Takara. It just doesn't, the 80s version doesn't have that. The barrels are different with the firing mechanism. There's a mechanism in there, and I believe, you know, from little research I've done, this chest doesn't fit on to the original Megatron because there's clips that are different because they've reinforced the things that break. Because a big part of Megatron, his chest always breaks. A little pin here with one screw. When you swivel the chest, you know, as a kid you go too much and you snap the little pin, the plastic pin off. So apparently with these ones, they reinforce that setup. You can probably see it just under there.
Yeah.
And I believe the pins are different size, so this can't go on a genuine one. Just so you know.
So that's what's causing the lift a little bit as well.
Probably, yeah. A little bit of tolerances are a little bit different, you know.
Interesting.
So reissue genuine Takara Megatron. You know, micro change and pre-rub Megatrons. That's a quick rundown. The big thing that's come on the market recently is a complete Chinese knockoff of Megatron. Funny enough, there was one released in early 2000. I think it's called Monarch Destroyer Codes 007 or something. That one's pretty easy to tell when you got one of them. I think his face is like completely black. He has the pins in his arms, and just the general quality of it is just poor. You know what I mean? So, but some people love it, like collect it because it is a unique piece again. Yep. It was a knockoff, the first knockoff of Megatron. I don't think it has made in China on it as well here. It doesn't, you know, I think it tries to have the MC1213 here, but the quality of the numbering and the lettering is so poor. You know, you can tell from a genuine one to a poor one, you know. So then it goes with the latest one. I've never had, for me, knockoffs are just not my thing. I guess everyone to their own. It's not a bad thing if you want it, but to me, I always know the whole point of buying these toys for me is the connection to them. Absolutely. You know. And for me, I'd rather a cheap falling apart Megatron that's fought a few battles, you know, and pay a couple $100 for him because he's broken, whatever, but he's genuine, to paying $200-300 for a knockoff.
Yeah.
I just, it doesn't work for me, you know. Yeah, it's nice to have a pristine one showing, but you know, there's no story behind it, you know. So I don't know. So another thing I forgot to mention with the reissues, all the screws are silver that put Megatron together. They're all silver.
Yeah.
And if you look at the original Megatron, or you know, the 80s Megatrons and Megatrons, they're all black screws.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, I think the screws are actually different, so you can't just take them screw and put a black screw in. They just won't fit. Or you risk it damaging an original one and breaking the plastic. So then, yeah, there's a recent knockoff of Megatron, which we started talking about, but how to tell the differences with that one, because that one is you know, trying to be very close to a genuine. It comes with the box and the foam. Some telltales with the box, you know, the burst or the fade in the colouring around here is very poor. It doesn't fade off like an original one. I think the cut lines don't line up here. Like his feet doesn't line up. It goes into here. So there's some telltales to sign if the box is fake. Like the feet are like, you know, nice and level here. With a fake one, they don't line up.
Oh, okay.
The colouring here is very poor. It just cuts off. It doesn't fade off like this, like a little burst. I think there's some other telltale signs how this lines up with the grid. There's a lot, and this one here, see, it's one square exactly cut. Where I think the knockoff one in the box, it's wrong. So you can just tell little things like that, you know. And then from Megatron himself, the knockoff in the chest here has a little dimple from the chroming process. Oh, okay. So you can tell the chest is fake. Also, with a real Megatron, this little tab here on the gun, it's got like lines green. It's like detailed.
Yep.
The fake one is not. It's rounded. I think it does try to have MC1213 stamped into it. Again, the quality of it is very poor, so the stamping and lettering is very bad. On this side, it has everything. It has made in Japan, Takara, Hasbro, and all the dates. So if you're really not sure, stick to one that doesn't have Hasbro on it. And then you know it's a genuine one, basically, because the fake one that's released has Hasbro on here. The arms don't have the pins. They've tried to replicate the original one, which is, you know, so you can't use that as a telltale, but it's the chrome here. The chest has a dimple. The stamping, the screws will be silver, not black. Yeah, and the detail around the plastic here is very poor. The numbering is poor. Again, I haven't had one. From what I've read, they're not too bad, but again, it's just not my thing. I wouldn't. In Australia anyway, we're spending $200-300 probably plus shipping for one. I just rather a battle star.
Can you even get a knockoff through customs?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone in Australia that's tried.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, you know, ultimately you probably can. These ones firing bullets might be a bit different now. But if it's not firing bullets, you know, all the scanners and stuff they have these days, they know they're toys. But again, you never know.
Yeah.
You've been a toy gun, you know. They may not. But yeah, so that's a few little telltales to tell between, micro change, pre-rub, rub sign, Encore series. I'm pretty sure it's probably other little telltales I've missed or forgot about that someone might go, oh, what about this, what about that? And that's a good point. Like Eric's always said, if anyone out there knows some stuff, please comment. One good thing with Eric and his channel, and why I wanted to do this, is just do a bit of this, but to get it out there, because if you're a collector and you actually want a genuine one, if you're not sure, send a message to Eric and stuff, you know, like, because he'll find the answer for you if he doesn't know. You know what I mean? And there's so many good collectors out in Australia that will help each other. You know, no one wants to. If you know it's a knockoff, that's okay paying for it. But it's when someone's trying to pass it off as a genuine one, that's not. It's probably the same with you with Star Wars weapons.
Absolutely. I mean, Star Wars is my background, and I've got quite extensive knowledge on it. But I'm always loving learning this stuff. It's such good fun. And yeah, if you can prevent some people from getting rolled and with some fake stuff or buying knockoffs or whatever it is, and educate more people, that's what it's all about. So like I said, you know, we're not saying this is 100%, we know everything. If you got something, tell us, please. We love hearing more of it. The info is great to share, and we're all collectors. We're all trying to help each other, and you know, get the crap out of the. If you don't want to buy these knockoffs, you don't want to pay for them, do you? So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers a bit of Megatron. With the, well, I hope you guys, hope that helps a few collectors out there. And again, if you have any questions, let us know. And I said this, I think Eric, you've got this guy coming up very soon.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this guy on auction very soon, so I'll let you guys know for sure. But that's going to be beautiful. It's going to be an auction, so that'll be coming up cool. And I reckon I'm going to get Chris on for some more vids because he seems like he knows this stuff. And I've got a few. I can see a couple of Optimus Primes in the back of the room over there, so maybe we'll have a look at that soon. So thanks for watching, guys. And Chris, I won't shake your hand. Oh, I can shake your hand.
Yeah, take the glove. Yeah.
Take the glove off. Keep the glove playing. Thanks for having you, mate. And yeah, it was awesome.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. That was sick. Just seeing them fucking shine, all of them. It's nuts. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that and you found it informative. Personally, that blew my mind. I'm a big Megatron fan, but I did not have any of that kind of detail, that level of detail and knowledge, which now I have recorded up here for YouTube for me to go back on forever. Now, as promised, the next couple of minutes, I've just got all the different photos, page by page, starting with Uncle, going pre-rub, rub, and Encore. So that's coming up now. So watch it, refer to it anytime you want, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you love toys and Transformers as much as me because I'm hooked for life. Thanks, guys.